How's it going, YouTube? LSM here. What's up, guys? If you're new, what's up? If you're subscribed to the channel, again, what's up? Uh, so I've been playing God of War Ragnarok recently. Most hyped game that I've been anticipating since like Red Dead Redemption 2. So love the God of War franchise and beat it quite recently on Sunday. I think Sunday. So yeah, let's talk about this game, man.
You know, I never thought I would be as hyped for another video game outside of Red Dead Redemption 2 again, but then God of War Ragnarok came into existence. And with all the praise of God of War's 2018 has received and it winning Game of the Year, re-identifying the identity of God of War games in general, foreshadowing all the events that was going to eventually occur in this game, and also being told countless times that this is going to be the end of the Norse Saga as we know it. You almost have to assume that this is going to be the Avengers endgame of God of War. So many unanswered questions, so many realms to explore, gods to kill, so much content to unpack in one singular game. And it just makes you wonder, is this the game we was hoping for? Psst, are you kidding me? This is one of the best games I've ever played in my whole fucking life! Somehow, someway, this game managed to exceed all my expectations despite not meeting some of my mandatory requirements. Like this, for example, ever since we found out that God of War 2018 was going to be set in the Norse Saga, I always had this vision between Kratos, the god of war, versus Thor, the god of thunder. Ever since then, whipping his ass and taking Mjolnir, right? Fucking Mjolnir. And I know I was not the only one thinking of that. Don't bullshit me. So then we get the teaser of it at the end of God of War 2018. Oh, so hyped and excited for it. And then you see a little bit of the trailer, you're like, I don't want to see too much because I just want to experience it for my own, right? So then you just hide from all the social media. That goddamn little perverted hermit who hasn't beat his meat in like 10 fucking years. Then next thing before you know it, Kratos and Thor are sitting at the table inside their home drinking mead. I never would have thought I'd see that on screen, but I actually got to see it. Never would have thought about it, but oh my god, isn't it gorgeous. The atmosphere, the voice acting, Ryan Hurst's Thor, absolutely wonderful. When you're sitting here thinking it couldn't get any more crazier, what the fuck? So then here we get a little bit of exposition, and then we find out what Atreus has been up to behind Kratos' back in his search for Tyr, which hot dog, Odin. You set this shit straight up from the beginning, and you disguised yourself as fucking Tyr, so the Tyr that we see is not even the real Tyr. And Tyr is actually locked up in a cell in Asgard in a side quest at the end of the game. I have to admit, brilliant plan for a sly little shit. But anyway, short story, Odin offers Kratos peace. Kratos says no, and then Odin's just like, alright Thor, go ahead, do your thing.
About time. I've been waiting for this. You're not from here. We got a tradition called blood payments. It means I get a piece of you for what you took from my family. You'll pick it up. That was for Baldur.
So yeah, apparently Kratos has a knack for getting slingshotted through his roof by gods, apparently. But this first fight was everything I wanted it to be, and as I was expected. It made me feel everything that I wanted to feel. These two fights, like with the first one in 2018 with Balder, it felt like a Dragon Ball Z fight. It felt so wonderful. I don't know, it just had that, like, if you watch Dragon Ball, you just know. And then this fight, it literally gave me Super Saiyan Gohan versus Cell vibes, with Cell like, show me what you're made, like, unleash your true power. I want to see what this power that they're fucking talking about. And then honestly, it caught me off guard, but they were like talking mad shit to each other. Mainly on Thor's end, like Thor was talking some mad shit, and I was not expecting it. Then you literally get a moment where Thor straight up whacks Kratos so hard that apparently it kills him, puts you into the loading screen, and then he resuscitates you with his lightning. Like, this fight just kept building and building and building until Kratos literally in one shot releases his inner ghost of Sparta, and Thor was just like, there he is, that's what I needed to see.
There he is. There's the God of War.
The second fight in Asgard with Thor didn't really live up to the first fight. It felt kind of like climatic. And not even just that fight, but Ragnarok itself, just compared to how they hyped it up from the previous game all the way up until the point of Ragnarok itself, it just didn't strike me like that. Like, don't get me wrong, it was epic actually playing it and watching it unfold as you're actually playing it. It was epic to experience. But when you really sit back and look at it, it felt like it just was rushed. The stakes just didn't feel high. Like, I didn't feel like all the 9 realms were getting destroyed or anything. Like, I just did not feel it. I didn't feel the sense of urgency. The top 3 boss fights in this game for me personally throughout the story was Garm, Thor, and Heimdall. Heimdall was fucking fantastic, especially how it ended, because you literally sit there and watch Kratos like get consumed with the ghost of Sparta, like anger and like just his need to protect Atreus. And so he's sitting there strangling him. Mirror's like, bro, don't do this. You're like, you do not want to be this god again. Like, don't do it. And of course, with the help of the new weapon, the spear that you get, it was great. I was not expecting a spear, but it makes sense because, of course, Kratos is a Spartan. When I thought we were going to get another weapon, I was also expecting, well, then that means we're going to get a decent-sized wheel of weapons. So I thought, can we get Mjolnir? That was the one thing I wanted, and you guys did not deliver. That was like, that should have been obvious. I'm never going to be able to live that down, but it's the way it is. So, with the side characters like Jormungandr, Fenrir, Skoll, and Hati, I'm fine with Jormungandr. He showed up like once in the game when Atreus was talking to him, mentioned Ironwood. The whole Ironwood section was really interesting, but it dragged on for a little bit too long than it should have. I was not expecting Jormungandr and Fenrir to be born the way that they were. So I know in like the Norse mythology that obviously those are all his children. Even like Hel didn't even play a role in this game at all, which was very weird. I was not expecting Jormungandr to be born with a like soul, like they put a giant soul in Dead Snake. And the same thing with Fenrir. Like we learn about Fenrir very early in the game. And it's like a small wolf that ends up dying, and then Atreus not unconscious, but subconsciously takes his soul and it goes into his little knife. And then when it times to go fight Garm in hell, they put the soul of Fenrir in Garm, so Garm is then in fact Fenrir with the soul. And I know in the mythologies that's been confused that they might be the same wolf. But I don't know. I like the little twist though, because obviously Atreus is too young to have kids. Of course, Odin didn't have Sleipnir either, the eight-legged horse. So it was overall was a very interesting twist on the Norse mythos. The more I think about it, the more like I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. I enjoy it. I obviously like in the moment of me playing it, I loved so much about it. But I still have some issue that I wish they would have answered in the game, was who blew the horn to call the world serpent back in 2018's God of War when Kratos was carrying Atreus to Freya while he got sick. They did not answer that at all. Sindri mentioned the horn once, but other than that, we didn't get shit about it. All we know is that Corey Barlog tweeted about it, saying like they're gonna try to address it in a future game or whatnot. But it's like the Norse Saga is over, so what the fuck does it matter at this point? But I don't know. It's the obvious case that they did not forget about it, and I guess they're saving it for a later installment, and this was intentional. So now that I know that, I feel a little better about that, but still it's like a kick in the ass to me. In terms of like gameplay aspect, I think the puzzles were a little bit too much as well. And not only the fact that the puzzles were too much as well, I feel like I didn't have enough time to even figure out a damn puzzle before they already spoil how to do the puzzle right off bat. Like, if you're already gonna tell me how to do the damn puzzle, then don't put the puzzle in the damn game, alright? Put a little toggle or a little something where I could be like, hey, I need a hint, or what do you guys think, Atreus? What do you think, Mimir? Like, put something like that. Put a little toggle. And on top of that, we didn't get no teaser on any future installment of the series at all. We don't know where they're going to go next. We don't get any indication whatever. The only thing that we do know is that Atreus went on his own to go find the rest of the giants who may be alive. And then Kratos, Freya, and Mimir are the new trio for the end of the game and the side content after the game. And that's it. That's what we know. And Kratos got the mural. He looked on the back of the mural, and he's finally being praised as, you know, he's finally went from a vengeful fallen god to now being a worshipped god. Like, he completely, I think his character arc in general has now came full circle. I think his character arc is complete at this point. I think potentially that Kratos is going to be worshipped by all pantheons. I think, like, it's not even just going to be in Norse. I think he's going to get his respect back in each pantheon that they go to next throughout, like, the whole God of War universe. I think that's what they're going to try to go for as his, like, end goal. And then with Atreus, I have no idea what they're going to do with Atreus. But Atreus / Loki is going to be very interesting and a good candidate to take on the mantle of Kratos whenever they decide to put Kratos away for good. So anyway, guys, that's going to include this video on my first impressions and thoughts about God of War Ragnarok. It's definitely a Game of the Year candidate. I think it's going to pull out against Elden Ring. So the fact that both God of War games are potentially going to both have a Game of the Year on their belt is remarkable. And that's just going to tell me that the future of God of War is going to be in safe hands, man. I mean, this ain't going to die anytime soon. So that's it for me here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, smack that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.